We have yet to, we obviously see a major incident in her life, but we have yet to really know who she is, what, made her become a cop, etc.
I think there's a lot of layers to the character that they're creating, and I think that what's special about her is that she's not open in any way, and I think that when she does reveal anything, it's sort of a slow reveal, and it also is like in bits and pieces, so you kind of have to puzzle them together. And I think that, in the first few episodes that have aired, you see that Cooper is trying to sort of get to know Tang a little bit, talk her up, and she's pretty tight-lipped about anything about her family, about her personal life, anything intimate. She doesn't want to reveal it. And I think that as the episodes go on, we'll sort of start feeling a little bit of a tension between the two of them.
Okay.
And there will be a little bit of animosity most likely coming about because his character is not going to agree with something that what she thinks is right. You know how people have different opinions about things, and that sort of starts coming out, and I think that's going to be that element is going to create something very good, I think, dramatically for the show.
Well, it seems like, he obviously is kind of challenging her a little bit just because he does want to try to get to know her, and she just wants to do the job. But do you see in the next few episodes, is he cracking her a little bit? Is he getting her to open up a little bit? What would it take?
I think it just takes her time to trust somebody. And I think, in the first episode, you see that she has really been taken down. And physically, obviously, it's very clear when you see the show, but I think emotionally, she has not recovered from that. And she's on this job to check him out, to make sure that he's going to be okay to be back on the streets, but really it is to prove to herself that she is still important and still capable, and I think when she starts to get to know him a little bit more and realizes that he's not really going to judge her for what happened, and he also understands what happened to her, and that they're really peers, that she's going to start to slowly bring out some information about her history.
Okay.
And I think that's a nice way for her to, create a relationship with him on a different level than when you first see them together.
Okay.
And then after a little while, something will happen on the job that he won't agree with, and she won't agree with what he thinks, and it'll sort of create a different dynamic for their relationship.
Well, it seemed like the scene that you were shooting was a little tense, and not just because you were at a gun range.
Right.
So, but that's what I find so fascinating about the show, is that you guys you can have these emotional conversations in the middle of this crazy backdrop. Going forward, do you find, is it getting easier for you in terms of the training that you go through on top of...
Going forward, it feels much better now that I've been running around in the uniform and I've been shooting the guns, and we've been basically taking down, suspects and as a team. I really feel like we've only more recently had scenes apart, and when I do, I feel like there's something missing. There does feel like there's an element missing, because you really become so used to having another body next to you, and specifically somebody that you're with all the time. And since I've been on the show, I have not had any time that I'm not with them. Even at one point when we were doing the training in different areas, we were carpooling together.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we were really together all the time.
Yeah, you kind of get that partner
dynamic. So when I have
dynamic.
to drive to set and I have to, do a scene by myself, it feels uncomfortable.
And your build as a special guest star, what do they have to do to get you to stick around? Because, Heather Locklear was special guest star on Melrose Place, and she stuck around.
She was?
So, that was her contract billing, but she was on it for, 9 seasons?
Wow. This is my only season that I'm on, and it is special. I think it's a good title because it's been an incredibly special experience, and it's nice that they billed me as that. They could have just put me at the end credits, They must really think I've added something to the show. I don't know. I've just really enjoyed working with this crew. It's a small crew. They're really tight. They have a good time together, and it's funny because normally at this time when you're shooting a series, you feel like, oh my God, we still have 10 or 15 more to go. I feel like we just started and we're just about to finish. I mean, we only have I only have 1.5 episodes left, so it feels sort of like, oh my God, where did all the time go? It flew by.
Yeah, and you guys shoot so fast.
And we had so many cases happen in that time, and so many guys that we, apprehended, and it doesn't seem like, it seems like it went by very quickly.
Is there a specific case that you were either really shocked that they could do on TNT, or just a case that maybe hit you kind of emotionally that you've tackled?
I mean, I'm surprised about a lot of the cases. I think the most traumatizing thing about some of it is that there's not always a resolve. Like if somebody gets shot or somebody gets hurt or anything that happens, if it is an incident, which there usually is, which is why we're there, it doesn't particularly mean that there's going to be a conclusion. No, it doesn't mean that the good guy is going to come in and save the day.
Right.
I mean, we sometimes don't have that ability, and it's really heartbreaking because sometimes we're like, well, what happens? Like, well, that's it.
Right.
That's it. And you feel sort of helpless, and it's a strange feeling for you to be someone who's in uniform and there to protect and serve, and you're doing the best you can, but it's still not good enough. It's not going to bring back that person. It's not going to change what happened. It's not going to change the experience, and that's really what reality is.